Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2 Champions League Round 1. My name is Retro, and I do believe that this is actually, this is not the final game. I was going to say this is the final game of Round 1, but it is not. We still have a couple going on Sunday, so it's definitely not the final game of Round 1, but it is the penultimate game, at least of Champions League. I think that there's a couple more left still in the Premier League and in the Alpha League to go on Sunday. But in any case, it's going to be a really, really interesting and exciting one, as of course it is VITICAL Esports versus Arctic VULPES. Now, if you don't know much about Revival League or its teams, two things to note are that VITICAL were sort of like a below average team last season. Arctic Wolves are about middle of the pack, but they are also the sort of academy team for Arctic Wolves, who are currently leaders of the season so far, and they were last season's winners. So Arctic VULPES rather, have quite a lot under their belt just from being academy team for the Arctic Wolves. So there's a lot of integration there between them. Maybe some strats are similar, although they are now rivals technically because they are in the same season and everything. But they're still very much collaborative, and there's a lot of friendliness there. So wouldn't be surprised if this would be quite a tough match here for VITICAL, especially considering the fact that they are coming into this with quite a significant roster change sort of across the board. Most of the players that we see here on their roster at the moment weren't there last season, so they only had a few weeks there in between the seasons to figure everything out, to get new players, to figure out strats and to scrim and everything. So this could be a really, really exciting game no matter how you look at it. But without any further ado, the game has begun. Arctic Wolves, my goodness, I think I'm going to have this mistake quite a lot. And it's not because I'm thinking that they are wolves, it's that my brain just pronounces it quicker. That doesn't make any sense. It does in my head, but in any case, Arctic VULPES, it's going to be really difficult. They are starting out on defense. They're going for this basement defense, which is not very common. Normally, you would see either the top floor site or Bar Gaming to be that primary site. Kitchen, as of recent, definitely not basement. That is very much an old Siege thing. A couple years ago, even, where that was the most impactful site and where that was the most picked site. So really, really interesting to see that is the one that they are going on to first, and it could be a strategic move of going for a less favored site and a less expected site first, because if they win it, well, now they won a pretty easy site to attack. They won it on defense, and now they're going to force VITICAL onto the more difficult sites to attack. But in any case, it looks like VITICAL are no less ready for this attack, and there goes the first engagement. Rudda picks up kill onto Rooney, who tries to go for a jump out, but Rudda was ready for it. The rest of the attackers have made their way upstairs and inside of the map. There's quite a strong roaming presence here from VULPES, with both the Red Cannon and the TKR King on that Cade, both of them roaming alongside the Muzzy that had jumped out from Rooney. So quite a heavy roam presence. They did have to retreat as VITICAL were putting too much pressure on them, and they just couldn't stay up there comfortably, which is really, really good for VITICAL. I mean, this is really, really good pacing. Even better now as Reshik takes the kill onto Cade. That's the TKR King off the board, and that's a really important opening here for VITICAL Esports. They're about 90 seconds in. They have quite a significant man advantage. They have quite a lot of map control, and they are looking to gain even more here if they are able to either get the kill onto Cannon or push him out of Kitchen or /Dining. If they are able to push him out of that area, then they pretty much have free roam of sight, and there goes the kill. The nade and then the swing. Jono on the stairs could be looking for an engagement here against some of the players pushing down these fireplace stairs as well. 2 versus 5. Quite a tall order here for Arctic Wolves to try and win this round out. Jono getting even more so aggressive, but Pavlov is there on those fireplace stairs just waiting for somebody to peek him. Rudda going down there as well. And the engagement could be coming out here as Rudda is not prepared at all for that swing from those stairs, and it's Jono that wins that gunfight. Pavlov not in a position to get the trade, and Jono retreats safely. 35 seconds to go. VITICAL have opened up a lot of these walls, and there go the Capital bolts as well, pushing Jono out of the position around Pillar, unable to hold on to that, and there goes Katu, just swinging straight onto him in a JM from the hatch to pick up the final one at the Calamar. It's actually not from the hatch, it is from inside of Boiler to pick up the final one. VITICAL Esports, quite unexpectedly, take the first round and show VULPES what this new roster is made of. Really, really impressive from them to pull this off, and a really, really great start to the round for them, that's for sure. Very, very good round. They had really, really good pacing, and they read into VULPES' defense brilliantly. They knew that they were going to have a heavy roam presence, or even if they didn't, they adapted to it very, very quickly. They went for that top floor roam, that top floor roam clear. Anyway, they killed those roamers, they pushed them out of their positions and made them uncomfortable. 90 seconds to go, they already had all of map control and a 5 versus 2. They only really lost one player, or not even really, they only lost one player. That was Rudda on the gridlock inside of the fireplace, and they just swept the rest of the defenders quite easily. VULPES going back downstairs into basement, and again, very, very unexpected of them to be doing this, considering that it is not a strong site. It is one of the weaker maps in Siege, especially as of late, and it is one of those sites that got overplayed so much to the point where every single defense that you could possibly bring on it has been broken down in one way or another, but typically there are multiple ways to break down every defense. So it's really surprising that they're going for it not once, but twice, especially considering that they lost it. I said that, damn it, Cannon taking a lot of damage here, having to retreat again. VITICAL, again, ready for this top floor roam, and pushing them out of their positions, making them uncomfortable, doing very, very quick work of clearing that top floor out. As we see, both of the defenders that were roaming upstairs have retreated either into Solarium or onto the mid floor, leaving everything up to VITICAL again, and they haven't even wasted a minute yet. Rooney pushing back up from those stairs, back into Solarium. We saw him sneaking around Trophy last time we saw him. TKR King and Cannon playing both on the mid floor. Rooney, for the moment, the only one still playing upstairs. VITICAL this time wasting a little bit more time, as of course this time they didn't gain that initial man advantage that they did last time around, where they took care of Rooney very quickly on, and then just continued to wreak havoc on the rest of them. So, wasting a little bit more time, but still in quite a confident position, especially as they're clearing out this top floor. But it's Cannon from a vertical angle that takes out Rudda. It's Rooney back up on those stairs to take out JM, and now Cannon retreats back to site safely. Rooney and TKR King still holding on to that mid floor, and VITICAL, it went from hero to zero very, very quickly. 3 versus 5. It's not a completely lost situation yet, especially because they still have the hard reacher alive. They still have that thermite, they still have smokes, they still have those flashes, and they have the air jabs from the Nomad to stop any further flanks from coming around. But it's still going to be quite a difficult and quite a big ask for them to try and push into sight. Rooney taking care of those drones, pushing back into sight safely. Could have been cut off there from the trench door, but player that is there currently wasn't there in time. I think that's Katu at that door. 25 seconds to go now. Taking care of that shield. There go the impacts up the hatch, doing a little bit of damage onto Rexy, but not really enough to matter for now. Wall gets opened up into trench, giving VITICAL an entry point. There go the smokes, there go the bolts. There goes the pre-fire from Katu, and he gets it, but he gets pre-fired back. It's a 1 versus 3, and it's Rooney from inside of trench to pick up the final one. Pavlov just could not do enough, couldn't do anything really, and the round goes to VULPES when I really didn't expect for them to be able to do anything, considering first of all, how well the first round went for VITICAL, but also considering how well paced VITICAL once again were. I don't know if that was miscommunication or just completely unprepared for the swing up those stairs, but that was quite a bit of a misplay and quite a bad one that really ended up hurting them. Now they kind of have to make that back. Of course, VULPES have equalized the scoreline at 1 round apiece at the moment. So definitely staying in this game, not letting VITICAL take any sort of momentum. And now they're going onto this bar gaming site, which is the strongest site on the map at the moment in this current meta. At least until we see what Fenrir can bring him. And Fenrir is a new operator coming in with a new season that has just begun this Tuesday. We've seen him a little bit, I think, in the previous games for maybe a moment. He's still not going to be a part of anybody's meta all that much, or of anybody's setup at the moment, just because people are still learning how to play him. Oh, actually, we didn't see him. We couldn't have seen him. I forgot that we actually did a poll of the players to see whether he was going to be allowed in right away, and the players voted that he would be allowed from round 2 onwards. So you will be seeing him from Monday onwards. Or maybe you won't. I mean, I really don't know how teams are going to incorporate him. He's a really, really strong operator. A lot of people seem to be really liking him, at least in these sort of ranked setups and in scrims. But of course, we're not going to be seeing him in this competitive league at the moment. Rexy already very, very quickly inside of Trophy. Uncontested, although there comes some drones. They're finding Rooney inside of Kitchen and pushing him away from that side as well. He's having to rotate all the way back to site, and downstairs he goes into the basement. Maybe trying to go for a late flank, or maybe trying to go for a flank up those west main stairs, where he could actually be quite successful, as there are a lot of attackers on this side of the map. Rexy seems to be aware of a potential flank up those stairs, and they do still have all 3 of those air jabs in the pocket for Pavlov, so maybe they could be trying to cover that up. But Rooney is so close to those stairs already, and really could be catching somebody off guard here if they are not careful. There's a player on cams inside of Trophy, and that's the first, that could potentially be the first victim. But even if he doesn't find a victim, he will be finding a victim. There goes Katu on drones. That's going to hurt, as well as that's their Hibana. That's the hard breacher off the board, and they don't have any secondary hard breach charges either. Which means that not only is the diffuser now down, and they're going to have to work to get it to retrieve it, but they're not going to be able to open up those office walls to put pressure onto that library hallway that is such an important position for the defense to hold and for the attack to clear. Rooney, completely uncontested, is looking to go for another rampage to try and find somebody again. Cannon still holding this chimney position, still completely uncontested, as VITICAL are going for a completely north to side push, just now rotating over to the library balcony to try and put some pressure from there. But it's going to be so difficult to try and find something here. A lot of pressure is coming out. Pablo finds Rooney. There goes the refrag finally after about a minute gone. Jono is still holding on to the suicide position, a very, very important position for any defender to be holding on to. Pablo taking out King, but there goes Jono with the refrag, equalizing the scoreline yet again. Kind of getting a little bit aggressive there, and gets the kill for it, but immediately traded out. Jono, still from inside of that position, is able to find another one, leaving JN in a 1 versus 2. He drops. Oh, he's actually still in library, and Jono, much like myself, thought that he either had dropped away or went back into suicide position, but Jono had moved up and was ready for the push. Arctic VULPES take the round and take the lead. Was that first round just a fluke for the side of VITICAL Esports, or did VULPES just let that round go VITICAL's way and decide, you know what, we're gonna stop messing around and we're just gonna go and absolutely tear them a new one? I really cannot tell which of those is true and which of those
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I cannot tell which of those is true, really. It's not a great situation currently for VITICAL, but as I say, they have still quite a lot of time to bring this back into the swing of things. They still have an entire defensive half to play out, potentially even overtime. There's still a lot of points on the board. 3 from this map, and then another 3 from the next map, as of course this is a best of 2, so we'll be here for a while no matter what happens in this particular map. As of course we have Oregon to follow up, which if you've been following along from the qualifiers, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of these maps that we're currently playing. I'm not a fan of Oregon or Chalet or Clubhouse. I just think that they are maps that have been played a little bit too much. I understand fully why they were played. They're very, very good maps. Don't get me wrong. I love playing them. It's just a caster, I'm not that big of a fan of them just because you don't really get to see all that much innovation on them, unfortunately. Most of the time you see the innovation on the less favored maps, like Theme Park, Skyscraper. Not all that much on these very linear maps that everyone sort of figured out the meta and the strategies for and don't really steer away from that all that much. VULPES going to a kitchen site defense this time, which is forcing VITICAL to go for a top floor clear. JM already taking a little bit of early damage. I'm not really even sure where from, and Katu going down again, the victim of the first strike. Rooney, again, the dealer of that particular hand, runs away unscathed. Katu luckily is alive still to be able to open up this breach, but still quite a lot of HP taken off, and even more taken off there for Cannon from the office balcony door, and he goes down to the window player. I think he thought he was safe from the shield, but unfortunately it was just not quite enough. TKR King doing a little bit of damage through those walls, but it's Rudda from the window to take down Jono. That's Zero. You don't see Zero get brought all that often, by even though he's a really, really strong operator. Those cams can be used either for quite a lot of information. I mean, he's got 6 observation tools available to his name, and especially with the new observation blocker gadget, he is able to be a lot more versatile with those observation tools in a way that the observation blocker cannot actually block his gadget. Not to mention that they can also be used to burn utilities such as mine magnets and ADSs, so he's generally a pretty strong operator. Not to mention, of course, the loadout that he brings with the GON 6 and the MP7, which is one of the stronger weapons. Callum looking up this hatch, trying to find something, as VITICAL have only got 40 seconds to go to try and set up for this execute. They do have quite a lot of vertical control, and they do still have the man advantage, but that's going to start to dwindle away as TKR King finds one of the JM from below. TKR King does go down. Callum finds one through the hatch. It's Rooney back on the backside again. Could be looking to go crazy once more. Callum will find one. Can he find another? He cannot. It's Rudda with the kill. That's his 3rd in the round. They have the site. They could be trying to go for a plant here. It looks like that's what they're going to be trying to do, but it's Rooney who is already rotated back at the kitchen. They have to retrieve the fuser. They have to either find the kill or get the plant down before Rooney can do anything about it. And it's Pavlov with about 15 HP to his name to find the kill before that timer runs out to get the round on the board for VITICAL. Equalize the scoreline again, and this is looking like a tug of war between these two teams. I thought that it might have been a landslide one way or the other, considering that VULPES are quite a strong team, and VITICAL are dealing with quite a big roster change that tends to mess a lot of teams up. A lot of teams end up suffering because of that, and they just cannot really find their footing. But VITICAL are absolutely not struggling with that. I mean, to be going toe-to-toe with VULPES on a quite defender-sided map. I know that sort of across the board, across all competitive leagues, it does end up being more attacker-sided, so you might be thinking that I'm crazy saying this, but in the Revival League, Chalet is actually one of the most defender-sided maps. It's about 55-56% defender-sided at the moment, so that is quite a big difference, quite a stark difference. Usually you're dealing with numbers, a lot closer than that. It's like 50 or 51%, but 56% defender-sided, that is quite a big difference between the attack and the defense. So for VITICAL to be finding quite a lot of success here on their attack is really, really good, and now they're going to be attacking onto a site they've already won, and might have won twice or might have been able to win twice had they had a little bit better communication. As I think that's what it went down to. I don't think they were prepared for Rooney to come up those stairs at all, and it really hurt them. So hopefully this time they're going to be a little bit more aware of such things happening. They've spent already 40 seconds still trying to find out these defenders that are roaming. VULPES bringing the exact same strategies they've always brought on this map with quite a heavy roam presence, wasting as much time as they can and forcing VITICAL into their hand. And, well, don't put baby in a corner as Rudda will find the kill. Immediately traded out, however, Rooney, against all odds, finds the kill behind that pillar on the rappel. Leaves them in a 4 versus 4, and VITICAL, now without the Twitch, are going to have to clear a lot of this utility all by themselves. Of course, Twitch is a really, really good counter to Goyo, as of course, since her rework where her laser gadget works a little bit differently, or her drone lasers work a little bit differently, they are able to zap Vulcan canisters. So she can just go in, get that out of the way right away, and that way minimize the area denial that Goyo can bring in the mid to late round. But now without her on the board, it's going to be a lot harder, and it's going to be even harder for AV to really do anything about, or to really take advantage of the Twitch being gone, as they lose 2 players in very quick succession. JM on very low HP, but still alive. 2 versus 4 here for VULPES. Jonah is going to be trying to look up through the hatch to try and maybe find a kill onto Rexy, who's undoubtedly going to be ready for that, or they look away just at the wrong moment. Might have been able to find something there. Katu opening up this wall, and you can see that Vulcan canister that was thing on the wall gets deployed as well. Katu already in, going for the plant. The C4 will miss from Jono. Callum brought the shield instead of the C4, so he will not be able to use his one. The plant will go down. Jono inside of sight cannot really push because of the grenade. Callum does find Katu, but there goes the gun 6 to clear the shield. Jono taking a little bit of damage, having to swing onto 2 players at the same time. We'll find one. Can he find the second? Yes, he can! It's all the Rexy on top of the hatch to try and play against 2 of these defenders. They have comms. They know he's back there. They know he's coming for him from above. The plant or the diffuser is coming out from the other player as well, but it's Rexy to find both of them at the end of the round to win it for VITICAL, retake the lead, and set them up for potentially winning this half, taking it 4-2 and putting themselves in quite a good position as they go onto their defensive side. VULPES taking a risk going back to the basement site, which they won and they lost, and it really didn't work out. It looked like it might be, especially as I spoke, the Twitch being off the board really could have put a thorn into VITICAL's side, but they were there. Their aim was on point. They got the kills that they needed. They got in, broke those walls, got the plant down, and then it was all just about holding on to those positions. Great comms at the end of the round as well to let Rexy know that there's a player coming. Good job from Pavlov to put down those air jabs in the correct places to catch the warden that was coming up. I think that was Callum. To catch Callum coming up to try and fight him on that hatch, and just all around a really, really great round from VITICAL, forcing VULPES to go back onto gaming, back onto the bar and gaming site. The last time that they played this, they won it quite a confident fashion that they won it as well. Can they win it again? That is the question. The attack looks to be a split push from both the north side onto the trophy and solarium, as well as a head-on attack onto the gaming side or library side, whichever you might call it. Rooney playing fire there, but escapes unharmed. Rudda making his way inside of the back garage, pushing up from there, trying to find potentially any roamers inside of the basement. Cannon, Jono, and TKR still inside or around that library area. Of course, for a site like gaming and bar, it is very, very important to have that vertical control, and at the moment they hold on to it. A very, very interesting change to their setup at the moment is the fact that they don't have a shield with the smoke. That is going to be the most damaging change to come of this season. And Rooney could be the most damaging player to come of this round if they do not drone him out. So far, I think he's completely unspotted, and players are flooding into the office, and he gets one! Can he get two? Yes, he does. He gets two of them. He knows there's another one on the office balcony, and they finally get the trade, but at what cost? TKR King taking down Rudda as well. It's a 2 versus 4, and it could be another blowout from VULPES. And it looks like it's going to be as they take down Rexy as well. He's, at the moment, irretrievable. Pavlov on the highway window trying to find some success, trying to find a kill at least. Rexy was unable to crawl away into the office to maybe save himself and to put himself into a position where he was able to be retrieved. Rooney so far has been the biggest thorn in VITICAL's side, and they got hurt by not droning and not communicating. Again, Pablo swings, gets one, gets two, opens up the round completely. In a 1 versus 2, this is a not so bad of a situation. He still has quite a bit of utility as well. Diffuser retrieved. He's got 30 seconds. We've seen players win from worse conditions. Callum popping those smoke babes onto the hatch and inside of gaming to try to hold him off. 15 seconds in on the clock for Pavlov. Pushing down the short corridor, trying to push maybe from the side of Fireplace. That exterior gate is going to stop him, but he gets one and he cannot get the last one. That was a really great attempt from Pavlov, but Cannon was there to shut it down. VULPES equalize the scoreline again. We see the side switch. And VITICAL are now going to have to defend to try and find success on their defensive half. It's going to be quite a lot of work for them to actually translate this even playing field into a round win. Of course, had they won that previous round, it would have been a 4-2 split in their favor, and they would have quite a bit of breathing room to, God forbid, lose rounds, but definitely to find a footing in this defensive path. Now, they cannot really afford the same luxury. Of course, not everything is still over. This is so far away from match point in either side, but it is going to be quite a lot harder for them to bounce back off of a win like this, or off of a split like this rather. But it's not going to let them. They're not going to let it take them down, as they are going to that top 4 site. Of course, I said this before. When we saw VULPES going for that basement side, it is really uncommon to see that basement side. Most of the time, you will see bar gaming or bedroom and office be that primary site. And it looks like VULPES are going for a completely different attack because they are going in from below. And Solarium's side, right away, Pavlov taking so much damage, miraculously still alive. There goes a grenade as well. He escapes that one as well. Miraculously alive. Looking to pop. A smoke babe on the window, but gets shut down from that same window by TKR King. There goes a run out! That's completely unpunished! Or it's actually punished. I misread the scoreboard. Katu goes down, Rexy will go down as well. VULPES 5 versus 2, and the best shape that they've looked all game. Have everything they need to win this round. They've got 2 minutes left. They have plenty of utility to counter any type of utility that that VITICAL could have thrown at them. And as Rooney takes one from the window, this is looking like a VULPES round through and through, and it will be a flawless round as JM is not able to find the finisher onto TKR King, who is down but not out. VULPES take their first attacking round in quite the fashion, if I may say so myself. That was quite impressive from them. Rhoda saying good round. It was a good round. It was a very, very good round. They got in, they did a lot of damage first onto Pavlov, then took him down. Then Tatu attempted a run out, didn't work. Rexy got punished inside of basement as well. And then, I mean, it was all down to the players still upstairs inside of sight, but there was not much they could do. VITICAL deciding that they're not going to play with their fate and are not going to try and win that site again, realizing, okay, VULPES might be a little bit too strong on that one. They clearly have an attack in mind. That Ossa on the window, the push coming up from both Volo and Solarium, cutting down any sort of rotations or any sort of pushes, maybe from those stairs, potential C4 action from those stairs as well into the window, denying any of that whatsoever, and winning the round quite confidently. So VITICAL are going to Barn Gaming, much like VULPES did in rounds 3 and 6, rounds that they won quite convincingly. Can they achieve it again, or can, rather, Defense achieve it again? I guess we will have to see. JM playing, again, this suicide corner position, getting shut out by those capital bolts that actually don't catch enough of the corner to push him out completely. Rada taking a lot of damage, however, and JM still intact, basically teetering on the edge of the hatch and still unmoved. The shots are missing, the fire missed, and he's able to retrieve back into that corner completely unscathed. And Rudda will find the first kill onto TKR King. That's the slide off the board. Any sort of verticality that he could have brought is going to be gone. That was from below. He tried to maybe come up below, try to come up those stairs into Fireplace and maybe push into sight from there. Maybe get a kill into Rexy. Who knows? JM will get shut down inside of that suicide corner, and that is a really, really important position for the defense to hold on to for as long as possible. But it's Pavlov to actually get the kill onto Jono with the Vulcan canister. Not looking good now for VULPES, as Cannon is on very low HP. Rooney is not looking too good for himself either. Callum, the only full HP operator, and it's only 3 of them. They still have quite a lot of utility. They still have 2 of those E1D scans. They still have flashes. They still have Ash charges and Ash soft breach charges to maybe do some vertical damage, but they first have to find an entry point, and they are unable to find one yet. Rexy absolutely tormenting Cannon here on this library window, throwing down so many of those Kibas and just not allowing him to peek in. Rooney will find Katu. That's going to open up the round. Cannon just trying to find a pixel peek here onto Rexy. He can see him, but it's unfortunately just the barrel of his gun. He can't find the kill. Callum will go down to Rudda, and now Rooney and Cannon are both on such low HP, they might as well be dead. And Rooney is dead as he goes down to Rexy. It's all down to Cannon. The diffuser is outside, dead and cold on the ground. He's only got about 20 HP to his name. Going up against 3 quite badly injured operators as well, so he could just be finding kills here, as I think all of them need just about a shot to go down, but he's already getting flanked from multiple angles, and it'll be Rudda from inside of the short corridor around from kitchen to find the kill. Win the round for VITICAL, and I really did not anticipate this to be such a tug of war between these 2 teams. They are just not letting go, and they are just absolutely tearing each other apart. No team has won. Actually, that's not true. I was going to say no team has actually won 2 rounds in a row, but that's not true. Both teams have won 2 rounds in a row. VULPES won 2 rounds in a row when they won rounds 2 and 3, and then VITICAL came right back, answered that particular momentum by winning 2 rounds of their own in rounds 4 and 5. And now, or actually, no, there was another 2 round. 2-round streak coming out from VULPES, where they won round 6 and round 7. But of course, that's the side switch, so not quite counted the same, but it's still quite a lot of momentum, and it was still a good job from them to get those. But apart from that, it's just been, you know, back to back to back the whole way through, and JM using those Kiva barriers quite cleverly on that window, of course, not placing them directly on the window where they can be punched, but rather placing them on the trophy case instead, where, you know, you have to waste utility, and of course, as they are bulletproof, you're not going to be able to find any kills through them. So very, very clever there. And I spoke about this briefly, but it got interrupted by a lot of action, is the fact that both teams are having to use Frost now as that smoke shield. Alternative is, of course, it would normally be smoke, and it would be another shield operator, potentially even Frost, but now they're having to only use the one shield and having to pick where exactly they want that shield to be. Luckily for both teams, Zami's not been banned. She gets banned quite a lot. She's one of my most banned operators, and she would really put quite a damper onto everybody's party here. Rudda, I'm surprised at how he's alive, to be completely honest, considering that they've thrown him out multiple times and Jonah was on his window. He will take a lot of damage from the trophy window, and he was almost safe, but he just kept on sprinting and got shut down.
See you on the other side.
Pavlov still challenging from those Solarium stairs. Will shoot out some of those Habana pellets, but not quite enough to completely prevent any of those pellets from coming through and revealing a little bit of those rooms behind them. Cannon will be shut down from the window, or so they thought, but Jonah will instead find Rexy. It's effectively 3 versus 3, but I think Cannon, as he drops away from the roof, will be able to get retrieved, and Pablo will get shut down instead, and what was looking to maybe be a comeback round from VITICAL is looking more like a flawless for VULPES, especially as they're going for the plant inside of bedroom, and Katu and JM, neither of them have really an angle to go for that kill there. Katu will find one to Callum, but JM will find another one as well, but he gets shut down from Rooney, and it's Jonah on the other side of the map to take down Katu as well. And that almost... He says, I hit those. Yeah, that was not the best showing. That was not the best showing. Not quite Shaiko, but, you know, not all too bad either. So this really is not looking like VITICAL's site. They brought it twice, or they tried to defend it twice, and both times it was VULPES' round. And now they're going to go for it again for a third time, and I just don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if that's because they don't have other sites in their back pocket. Like, they don't know them as well. They don't feel as confident on them. Or if they just really want to get this round win. I don't know which of those is the decision maker here, but it really is not looking good for them. I have to say, it's not looking good for them, and especially it's not good for them to be going for this site 3 times, because it might not work out. I mean, VULPES also had a round like that was quite problematic, where they kept bringing it, and it kept not working out. It was basement, but they won it once, at least. They lost the first time, won it the second, lost the third, and... well, I guess maybe third time's the charm for VITICAL here, but I don't know. Did they bring a pulse to maybe deny any sort of that verticality coming out from VULPES? But also to potentially maybe get a C4 kill, or maybe get a kill onto the planters. Of course, you would usually find Solace on that job, but he's of course been banned, so that's not going to be happening, and Rooney is already on these windows, putting some pressure on from there, or rather on this big window, multiple windows. Jonah and Cannon at the moment safe from that window, but as they blow open those Kiva barriers, it's not going to be so good, and Katu finds one, is able to retrieve back in. They do find the trade, but oh my goodness, how was that even possible? How did they allow that to happen? That really should have happened, but they take down Pavlov anyway and blow the round open in their favor again. Rudda, however, finds the answer. What a flick from JM onto Jono. Rooney will make his way inside of sight again with the diffuser. So far, the star player for the side of VULPES will go down, or Callum will go down rather. Rooney trying to battle against this shield, is unable to find those shots. He's getting challenged from below as well. Rudda still with that pulse scanner. C4 not in pocket anymore, but he will find Rudda, who tried to flank up those main stairs, or those solarium stairs rather. Jonah or JM on such low HP is still teasing him from behind the piano, blocking himself inside of it with the Skiba barriers. He tries to go for a deagle one tap as he ran out of ammo on his primary, but he's not able to find a kill, and now it's all on to Rexy to try and salvage this round. That was all VITICAL at a point, but then they just all kept dying. Rooney behind another shield will find the room to go for the plant. Rexy having to rotate all the way around. They have intel on him. They know exactly where he is, but he can't find those shots because of the other shield. He gets the down and he gets the kill. Rexy to the rescue again. We saw him clutch before. We saw him clutch again. VITICAL finds success on this site finally, after attempting to defend it 3 times, failing to do so twice, and Rexy showing off full HP and an elite skin from Frost to get the final kill and show up when it absolutely matters. Not only do they win the round, but they stop any sort of momentum from forming on the side of VULPES. Again, as I said, there's not been that many back-to-back rounds won by one team. Usually, it is one team wins one, then the next team wins one, then the next team wins one, and it's sort of just all over the place like that. There have been 2 rounds in a row won by teams before, as I said, rounds 2 and 3 by VULPES, rounds 3 and 4 by VITICAL, rounds 6 and 7 by VULPES, and now it's just been back to back to back to back all half. And now the VITICAL found success on that top floor site, finally figured out a way to counter VULPES' attack, and figured out a way to win that site. That gives them a lot of confidence and a lot more freedom, as they are now not locked to this gaming bomb site that they tried to defend, or that they did defend rather, all the way back in round 8, and now finally have unlocked again, so that they are able to go back to it again. But it really could be a bit of an issue for VULPES if they are not able to find the round win. Here's, of course, that puts VITICAL onto match point, and all they need to find is just one round, but Rudda will find the first kill into Rooney. So many players pushing in from below inside a basement. Katu will join him as well. They're just challenging onto them, waiting for them, and it's Kazu from inside of blue to find one. There's still another player playing inside a basement, and he'll get shut down as well by Rudda. They both find a couple kills for themselves. Jono and Cannon again in a 2 versus 5. It's going to be such a tall order for them. We saw Cannon in this exact position before. He was in a 1 versus 3 against injured defenders, was not able to find the round to win. Got shut down on the final kill. That Ponytail just teasing him ever so more, and Rexy finds the gun to Cannon. Jono all by himself has 9 kills to his game, has 2 of those frag grenades in pocket. There goes a run out. That is going to be a free kill for him. I think we're trying to reinforce it from outside. He will find another one at the Katu. Both of those players, I'm not gonna lie to you, that was a throw, if I've ever seen one. They tried to reinforce the wall from outside. Rutta saying hi, stream. Hi, Rutta, to you as well. 90 seconds to go, or a little bit less than that for Jono. 1 versus 3, not an impossible thing to do, but it is going to be quite difficult. He's going to try and cook this grenade, maybe try to find a kill with it, but unfortunately no information for him to let him know that there's no one there, and he's going to be tossing up another grenade to the other floor to try and find something there, and he finds it with a beautifully cooked and beautifully bounced grenade to take down Rexy, and now this blows around fully open for Jono, as he has the time, he has the diffuser, He has those clones as well to find out a little bit of information as well. But of course, another thing that he has is 2 defenders to come up against. Those proxies will be given away his position. Pavlov still has all 3 of his smoke babes in pocket. Goy canister or the Vulcan canister will be deployed, or will be blown open rather, inside of the bar corridor, so he will not be able to push from there. And there goes the smoke babe as well on the bar door on the other side to prevent that. And it's JM from above to find the final kill, put the round on the board for VITICAL, and to put them on match point. This is trouble. This is really trouble for VULPES right now. As, of course, as I said, there have been 2 round streaks, but there's never been any more than that. And VITICAL are going onto a site that we haven't seen from them before. They went to top 4 thrice, they went to gaming twice, and now they're going onto kitchen, which we have not seen them defend at all. When VULPES were defending kitchen, the round went to VITICAL. When VITICAL are defending kitchen, we don't yet know how that is going to turn out, but if VITICAL are able to win this round, not only will they be the first team to win more than 2 rounds in a row, they will also end up winning the map, ending this map quite short, if I may say so myself, even though it will be a 7-5 win, because I do love me some overtime. But they will also be picking up all 3 points. Of course, there's 6 points up for grabs. Still currently at them. Actually, no, there isn't. Because VITICAL have secured themselves at least 1 point. Of course, if they go to overtime, whether they win or they lose, they will have at least 1 point. If they lose, they will have 1 point. If they win, they will get 2 points. They're getting, so excited here. Trying to go for a spawn peek from the top fireplace window. JM unfortunately will not be successful with it. Drops away, decides it's not worth sticking around as no one peeked him. Rooney is already on that office balcony, and they are looking for a push onto that top floor. Very, very important for them to have that vertical control so that they are able to push onto site. They're spotting JM out on the side of... Wow, what a shot as well from Cannon. I do believe that was through the wall to find the kill. Rooney will find Rudda. TKR King could be sneaking around on that nook as well, and the round now in a 3 versus 5 could be looking a lot more VULPES than it is looking VITICAL. Rexy, the only player still playing upstairs, tried to hold off the attack for as long as is possible, but with 2 minutes to go still, it's going to be quite a tall order, especially as he's staring down at that Ossa shield. Katu will go down inside a set from below. That is TKR King. I spoke about him. He was going to be trouble, and he is trouble as he finds the finisher with the grenade, just as Pavlov was trying to get the res, and now it's all done to Rexy to try and hold them off on top, and it's all done to Pavlov to try and hold them up from below. 90 seconds to go. They have more than enough time, more than enough utility, and more than enough people to do this. We've seen them do it before. They did this in the first round, and they're going to do, or in the 7th round rather, and they're going to do it again most likely as Rexy is in a 1 versus 5. He's going to have to pull off a miracle in this round to try and find the win. He finds one, denies the flawless, denies... or begins the ace rather. TKR King on very low HP, so he could be finding a kill onto him as well, especially as he is on full HP himself, but the attackers are all on site now, and the plane is going down, but it doesn't matter anyways. Jono will find a kill through those metal bars to find the last one. Put the round on the board for VULPES, and hello, what do we have here? Well, yes, of course, it is overtime, and okay, I got a little bit scared. Some players were, yeah. There was a bit of a miscommunication there between the team of VULPES, but they are fine. They thought that they picked the wrong side, or they got the wrong side But that was, of course, for map 2. But, you know, by the time that we get to map 2, so much will have happened. Interestingly enough, both teams now have secured themselves at least a point, which I do believe is the first in the Champions League so far. I think most of the maps ended up being a 2-0 win with no overtime. I could be mistaken here. Probably am, as I have been known to be in the past. I'm correct. Yes! For once, I am not wrong about my statistics. It is very, very difficult to do this without someone here. I will be completely honest with you. It's really difficult. He's the stat man. He knows all the statistics. He knows all the results, everything. And then I'm just here yelling for the most part. So very, very difficult to do this without someone. He is unable and unavailable for today's games, which I'm very, very sad about. I do miss him greatly, not just because of the mats. But yes, as I said, most of the matches have been, or all of the matches rather, up until this one have been blowouts of 2-0, no overtime. So that means that all of the teams that won picked up all 6 points. And this is the first one where that will not be the case. One of these teams will be coming out with 2 points from this map. The other one will be coming out with 1. So that is definitely a good beginning to the season. Of course, there's 7 weeks of playtime. There's still so much Siege to play. But it is a really, really good start. And VITICAL, going to defend gaming, have decided to defend it completely differently to what we've seen from them, to what we've seen them do before, is they've given the entire north side of the map away to VULPES, and they blow open that wall as well, trying to put a little bit of pressure from there. Rooney just barely missing the kill there onto Rooney, but finding his position and holding his position as well. So if Rexy moves or swings, he could just go down. That ponytail again, just teasing the attackers, but Cannon finds the kill into JM. Opens up the round a little bit for VULPES, but oh my goodness, look at that. 90 seconds have already gone. I didn't even realize that so much of the round is gone, and oh, they get him in a pinch, they get him shut down. Katu will find a refrag onto Callum. Rooney is on such low HP, he might as well be dead, but he's not still dead. Yeah, and he still has 2 of those E1Ds in pocket, but Katu will find the kill onto TKR King, and he's still holding on to these library stairs. Still mostly uncontested, and Rudda will find a finisher onto Rooney, leaving Jono and Cannon in a 2 versus 3 again, or a 2 versus X again, as we've seen them in this position before. Quite often we see this happen for them, and they're going to have to work quite a bit to try and find the win here. Rhoda on a bit of a shallow roam. Oh, and he will get shut down from that roam. Katu on the bottom of these blue stairs will be getting pressured from Cannon. It's just about who has a quicker reaction time here. Pavlov does deploy one of those smoke babes on those stairs as well, which will rotate Cannon around to the other side. They're going to look to try and see if they can drop the hatch. And Jono does drop one of the hatches. Takes a lot of damage from the smoke babe. Takes the most damage from the headshot. And there goes the headshot with the shotgun as well. Pavlov going absolutely nuts to find 2 kills at the end of the round. Wins it for VITICAL. Puts them on overtime match point. And they could be looking, or they are looking at 2 points right here, right now. But we are seeing VULPES back on their defense. They went 3-3 on their defensive half. Interestingly enough, went 3-3 on their attacking half as well. So it has been a very, very, very close game so far. And what I thought might have been a bit of a misplay from VITICAL to go for such a defense where they just completely gave up half of the map turned out to be quite successful for them indeed. And now we'll be seeing the same exact site defense from the side of VULPES, and it's gonna be interesting. That's all that I can say, as I do believe that this round has, or this site rather, yep, as I'm looking at my notes, this site has a 100% win percentage for the defense. So, dare I say we could be looking at round 15. I'm not saying we are, but we could be. But I'm not saying that we are, but we genuinely could be. Interestingly enough as well is the fact that the VULPES are not going for a smoke. Now, smoke so far on this site has been absolutely vital. And we saw him all throughout this match. We saw him brought almost every single round, especially on that site. Even without the shield, he's still so vital for that area denial. The VULPES are deciding, you know what? We don't need him. We're going to go for something else instead. And Rooney is waiting from below. Inside of that garage, could be looking for a kill onto Katu if he is, or that's not Katu, that will be Rexy. That will take so much damage, but will stay alive. Rooney, unfortunately, losing the one shot that he had of maybe getting a kill there. Pavlov cutting off any sort of rotation coming up from those west main stairs and denying a push around that side. VITICAL going for quite a different attack strategy here. We've seen them do this before, where they go for mostly, where they go for sort of a split push, both on the mid floor and on the top floor. Usually you will see teams only go for that top floor, and oh my goodness, Cham finds damage there onto Cannon, but Rooney finds Katu. That's the Ying off the board, and that's going to hurt quite a lot. Rooney still unharmed, sits inside of Wine, just waiting for the next attacker to push him. C4 gets blown up right in James' face, does not find the kill. Pavlov on the repel. Library side trying to find something. But I do believe that's Jono again in that suicide position inside of Library. I've said it so many times, the most important position for the defense to hold on to for as long as possible on this site. One of those air jabs gets blown up by a defender, or I think actually it might have got caught by a magnet. Rudda will be pushing up these fireplace stairs, could be finding a kill, and he will! Bit of a whiff, but he finds it anyway. Stuck in a goo mine at the moment, will have take care of that. Rexy could have found a kill there, but unfortunately he drops away, and Rooney is on these stairs, could be finding some success as well, but he's getting pressure from above. Isn't really able to do that. They're holding these stairs, and all of the other staircases are air jabbed off at the moment. Jono fully blind, but still vastly uncontested. 30 seconds to go for these attackers to try and find the round. So many more flashes going in, but Rudda is now full blind as well. They will go for the swing, and they will go for the kill into Jono. 3 of these attackers are very, very hurt. All of the defenders still full HP, so they're going to be a lot more suited for a gunfight when it inevitably comes to one. Pavlov maybe trying to find some information on a late round drone mission. That timer is so low. TKR King will find one. Rooney will find another. TKR King will find the third. And Callan with the final one on the Rudda. This site remains with 100% defense win rate. Brings us to round 15. Overtime match point. This is the first time we were seeing it so far this season. Woo! It's the first time we're seeing overtime. It is the first time that we're seeing round 15. And I, for one, am very, very glad that that is happening already in round 1. Because, of course, if everybody asking, where are you guys going? Just, it's a lot easier to attack a site if you know where the defenders are going to be before you even spawn. Just very, very much wondering. And it looks like VITICAL are going for that top floor side, which is, it's scary. It's scary because, of course, this is a site that they tried to defend 3 times in their defensive half. They won it once. They attempted to defend it 3 times, they won it once. And they are bringing that exact same lineup, the one that actually won them that final round. But of course, it did come down to a Rexy clutch, and they cannot be relying on a clutch again. So of course, VULPES will try to not let that happen, and then it could be quite a bit of a problem. Rexy will be putting down one of these frost mats on the trophy window. I do believe that it was there before, but of course, it got shot out in the process at some point. Rooney back on that Ossa. It's going to be quite a challenge again here for VITICAL to try and win this map and win this round and to win this map. But as I was saying, is that I am quite excited the fact that this round 15 and this overtime game's coming out so early on in round 1 of the season is, of course, if you were there during qualifiers, we didn't see overtime on stream till round 5. It was the first game of round 5 that we saw overtime for the first time in open quals. So I'm very happy to see it right away. Renata is already coming out from Retta, and he will be taking down Rudy. That is the most crucial operator on the side of Arctic Wolves. Whoops! It's that Ossa on the shield, on the window that is going to hurt quite a lot. Katu is looking for a bit of a run at himself from the basement, and that is going to hurt. They lose that operator. Katu still situated inside of the basement, just waiting for somebody to push him. It's Rexy and Retta on the mid floor. Uncontested, and they don't have to move. Pavlov will be losing a little bit of safety as that wall will get blown open, and he waits for the right moment to swing. He gets the kill. He gets the second one as well. What a beautiful shot. It's all that the Jono and TK are king again. Jono in a 2 or 1 versus X. We see him time and time again in this position. He is definitely the player that stays alive the longest on the side of Arctic Vulpes, but is he going to be the clutch factor here? TK King finds Rexy, immediately shut down by Rada, and now it's all down to Jono. 14 kills to his name. Can he make it 18 to win this round? He cannot. It's Katu that finds him to end this round, to end this map. VITICAL come out of it with 2 points to their name. Beat out Vulpes in a historic 8-7 fashion. I say historic because this is really something that has come out of the blue and that is completely unexpected. Nobody really expected this to happen. Everyone thought, oh no, they have plenty of roster changes. They have like 3 million roster changes happen since the first season. Vulpes are the academy team for Wolves. They are a very, very strong team. But no, VITICAL said, not today, not on my watch. They pick up 2 points, win that map, and put us in quite a good show match here. So I am now very, very excited to see Oregon. I remember at the start of the map when I said that I do not like seeing Chalet and Oregon. Well, I like them if they're gonna be like this. I like them if they are going to be 3-3 split, and then a 2-1 split as well. I mean, it's a 2-1 split on overtime. I mean, such a good time. I absolutely love this. For MVP, oh man, I know that Rudda was the MVP in terms of kills. I really want to give it to Rexy just because of that clutch factor. Rexy clutched up, I think, 3 rounds, and those 3 rounds could have not only been the difference between who wins or who loses, but could have also been the difference between whether VITICAL come up with any points at all. So I will give it to Rexy for this one. But again, 7 weeks of playtime. This is only round 1, and it's only map 1 too. So it's going to be a crazy matchup to go, and anyone could win it in the next map. But we will be taking a short break on the stream right now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It will be Oregon. It will be map 2, and Vulpes are looking to score some more points as they've only got 1 right now.
Stars were sealed past the edge of town, 'cause we had nothing else to do. dream it in full color, loving like no other. No wasted days, I was wasting it with you. I was wasting there when you showed me, showed me, showed me. Fake love that I couldn't see wasn't true. Left me with these memories, memories, memories. Now I'm missing somebody I knew, and I know it wasn't you. Now why'd you have to fool me like that? Cut me in two and tell me that you love me. Keep me guessing and whisper that you want me so bad. Got me thinking that we could last forever. I blink and you're gone. And why'd you have to fool me like that? Fool me like that. Why'd you have to fool me like that? Fool me like that. Fool me like that. Going round in circles, tripping over hurdles, looking for the answer in the spots we used to go to. And now it's all but over, and every breath is colder. Look over my shoulder, now I see what I fell into. Now I see that you showed me, showed me, showed me. Fake love that I couldn't see wasn't true. Left me with these memories, memories, memories. Now I'm missing somebody I knew, and I know it wasn't you. Why'd you have to fool me like that? Caught me into and tell me that you love me. Keep me guessing and whisper that you want me so bad. Got me thinking that we could last forever. I blink and you're gone. Why'd you have to fool me like that? Why'd you have to fool me like that? Caught me into and tell me that you love me. Keep me guessing and whisper that you want me so bad. Got me thinking that we could last forever. I blink and you're gone. Why'd you have to fool me like that? Yeah, why'd you have to fool me like that? Why'd you have to fool me like that?
Endless sign as
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You already know it. Revival League Season 2, Champs League, Round 1. It's VITICAL versus Arctic VULPES. My name is Retro. VITICAL won the last map. It was Chalet. If you missed it and you're just joining us now, please go watch that when there's a VOD. It went to round 15, which is the first time we've seen overtime at all in round 1 of the regular season, Season 2. So please go watch it. It was such a good game. It was back-to-back round 1 after round 1 by each team. Very, very exciting. Great game. And VITICAL come out of it with 2 points to their name. Arctic VULPES do pick up 1 because, of course, it did go to overtime. And the way that the points are split is if you win in regulation, you get 3 points. If you lose in regulation, you get nada. If you win in overtime, you get 2 points. And if you lose in overtime, you get 1 point for your trouble. So VULPES come out of it with 1 point. They are looking to score a few more. It would be very, very fun if this game ended with, a 3-3 split, because, funnily enough, the halves for Chalet were 3-3. Both halves were 3-3, and then it was a 2-1, because, of course, it cannot be a 3-3 on overtime. It was a 2-1 in VITICAL's favor, so very, very interesting. Also, something I wanted to mention that I didn't mention at the first map, but might as well, is that we are having a Finnish stream for this game as well. So if you are a fan of Finnish, the Finnish language, or just want to support our Finnish content creators, go to twitch.tv/VITICAL esports, where you can see, actually, VITICAL esports, their own organization is streaming that in Finnish. So if you would prefer a Finnish stream with Finnish casters and everything, you could go watch that. If not, or if you prefer me, you could stay around on this one. But without any further ado, the map is a go. The bans have come out. And another constant that we're seeing is the Solace and the Flores ban. And of course, they were banned the previous map as well. Interestingly enough, we have not seen an Azami or a Nook ban in either of these two maps. Very, very, very fun and exciting. Normally, you'd see them banned almost every single time. They are the most banned operators in the league so far. I think Flores tops Nook only barely, and I think Solace only barely tops Azami, but they are very, very close, neck and neck and neck. And I think the reason why Azami may not be getting banned here on Oregon, or on Chalet for that matter, is of course the new season that just dropped on Tuesday that brought along with it a lot of changes. One of them, and the most significant to a lot of people, being of course Smoke losing his shield. He's had that shield for years, basically since the shield was implemented into the game, since the deployable shield was implemented into the game. Smoke has had it, and now he's lost it. I'm sure he feels very, very exposed and unsafe without it. But just as well, players who main Smoke and who play Smoke often also feel just as exposed and just as cold without that shield. Teams are having to reorganize their strategies completely to make up for the loss of that shield by either bringing in an operator that they normally wouldn't, or bring in an operator that normally would, but without that shield. And Pavlov already finds the kill on Jono. That is from 3 windows, or 2 windows. Jono, very surprised about that. I am also very surprised about that, as I'm not sure how that even happened. Observer Happy saying skill issue about that. I'm not really sure whether or not that was a skill issue or just a lucky coincidence coming up from the Smoke, but it looks like Pavlov's Smoke is not feeling so insecure without that shield, but of course without the Habana, they're having to reorganize themselves a little bit and having to use their hard reaches a little bit differently than they would have liked to. One of the ways that teams have found a substitute for Smoke's shield is exactly what we're seeing here from VITICAL, where JM is bringing Warden with the shield. Normally, he wouldn't even be brought all that often, but even when he would almost every single time have the C4s, of course. It is the ultimately superior secondary gadget. It can get you a kill, it can destroy a lot of utility, just an all-around very, very good gadget, and now they're having to use a shield instead because they don't have it with Smoke. So It's just another way that has impacted a lot of players. But something that has impacted VULPES here more than losing 2 of their players is losing so much time. 2.5 minutes have already gone, and another player has gone as well. They do deny the flawless as TKR King just before he dies picks up 1, or TKR King picks up 2 actually. He was not one of the players that have died. This closes the round a little bit. This closes the round even more as they find the down and the kill onto Katu, and now it's a 2 versus 2, 20 seconds to go. TKR King, still another grenade in pocket, will be pushing up the white stairs that have been smoked up by Pavlov. His final smoke babe getting deployed onto there. There goes the swing and the kill from Cannon. He's inside of attic now, and oh my god, despite the shotgun in Pavlov's hands, he gets the kill. What has just happened? Oh my goodness, what a round. He is him, says Callum. I could not agree more. We spoke about the clutch factor in the previous game where it was Rexy. He ended up getting the VP title as well because of that clutch factor, despite Rudda being the player that got the most kills on the side of VITICAL. Rexy was that clutch factor and was the decider between whether VITICAL were going to win the game or no, or win the map or no. And would Cannon be that clutch factor now for VULPES? I don't know, but that was a crazy shot, and I really didn't think it was going to go their way. I thought there's absolutely no chance in the world that Cannon wins that gunfight against the SAS shotgun point blank. And he found it. He found the win somehow, and now VITICAL are forced to defend this side again and to find the win. Now, of course, we've seen them in this position before, where they won, where they lost their primary site pick and they picked it again. And unfortunately for them, it didn't really go their way all that much. We saw it just now on Chalet, where they kept picking that top 4 site, similarly to this one, where they lost it twice and they finally won it a 3rd time. Hopefully for them, they have a bit of a better split for their wins and losses on this site and than they did before. TKR King outside with the frag grenades, trying to maybe blow up those new jammers off the wall from below to allow Jono to open up that. Well, actually, no, Jono's on the other side of the map, rather, opening up the attic wall. Callum then with the summer charges. Jono, Rudda taking a lot of damage and going down. I think that might have actually been to the frag grenade from below. He is retrievable. He will be getting retrieved, and TK King could be fighting 2 here. He does not, but JM finds one onto Rooney anyway. Pavlov is the next one to go down. Everyone is getting down. They might just need a Thunderbird on the board, and Callum, very patient, finds the kill onto Rudda. There goes a bit of an impact trick there to deny that breach from getting opened up as much, but Katu finds the kill onto Jono. Pavlov is just bleeding out inside of dorms, is not able to get retrieved as 2 players are still below trying to hunt TKR King on these white stairs. They will find him, and they might just make it up to Pavlov to pick him up as well. It's all down to Callum. Oh no, Katu takes down Callum in the most disrespectful way possible. He could be finding Cannon here as well, unless Cannon has something to say about it. There goes a grenade, and there goes the kill. We've seen this from him before. All of the defenders have been hit at least once. JM is a few shots away from death. Rexy and Pavlov are both either 1 or 2 shots away from death. So this is a winnable situation here for Cannon, as he still has but a minute to go, and we've seen him clutch up just that previous round, so he could just do it again here, especially as he still has a grenade in pocket that could just be finding someone. Unfortunately, it does not find anyone, but he could be finding here a player on that window, but unfortunately he does not. The Thorn Gadget will give him away. The Smoke Babe will get deployed, and it's JM from the back of dorms with that Uzi to find the final kill. Blow the round open, blow the map open rather, for VITICAL, and close the momentum again for VULPES. This time, VITICAL were a little bit better as far as defending or redefending the same site goes. The previous time that they tried to do it didn't really work. They tried to play the same site twice, and then they couldn't do it, and they finally won it on the third try. This time, it worked right away, and now they're going to laundry and supply. It's the basement site. It is one of the most defender-sided sites in Siege, in the game, across the board. One of the most defender-sided sites. Very, very difficult to attack onto. Any team struggles. Can VULPES find success? And especially as VITICAL are having to completely reorganize the way that they play this because of that shield being gone from smoke. And it looks like they did bring the shield anyway with the warden, but of course, undoubtedly that shield will be used to defend supply, or rather laundry from the long corridor. Or actually, we can't actually see that shield.
Attackers are moving out.
Where are you? It's been deployed. Oh, it is inside a pillar. Very interesting placement for it, and I think even more interestingly is the fact that they have completely blown open that entire bunker wall as well. VULPES are going for a very, very quick attack already, pushing their way up onto the tower and up to the armory stairs as well. The only operator roaming on that top floor that I can see at the moment is Rexy. Rudda for backup on that mid floor, and with that hatch open, that is quite a big risk that VITICAL are taking. Is of course that VULPES having that for free, if they are able to find kills early on as well, could really be an issue. Pavlov looking up this very long vertical angle from the bottom of the supply stairs, or laundry stairs, my apologies, would be finding some success as well. How to playing around that shield that he put down himself on pillar. TK King just waiting for a peek, just waiting for a pixel to change color, and Rooney waiting for a pixel to change color, found the kill onto JM. Opened up the round quite well here for VULPES as they eliminated one of those players on the mid-floor. Rudda still holding tight here, waiting for somebody to swing in. There's that bulletproof camera inside a split as well, but the logic bomb will get deployed and will give him away, or will it, as Rooney just pushes down anyway and isn't really aware of his positioning at the moment. It'll be Rexy from above to take the kill onto Rooney, allowing Pavlov to rotate all the way back down, and now they might be a little bit worried about what Rexy could do. What they should really be worried about is what Rudda can do, is of course he remained undroned and was able to pick up the kills from there anyway. Seems like VULPES are suffering the fate that VITICAL were suffering in the map before, where Rooney went undroned quite a couple of times and was able to pick up a lot of kills from being undroned. Kato getting very aggressive here on the freezer door, but unaware the Callum is already pushed up so far on. Rexy was not aware of that either, and somehow Rudda and Pavlov both find a piece, leaving Callum all to his own. The diffuser is still lost inside a freezer, and now as they have a cross setup, it's going to be pretty difficult for Callum to try and find something in this round. There goes a flash, trying to maybe find something, but he's getting swung onto again, and there goes that shotgun. It didn't work in the first round, it works in the third. Pavlov finds the kill, finishes the round. VITICAL take the lead. Very, very interesting game so far. And another back-to-back. A lot of back-to-backs going on between these two teams. Very, very interesting stuff happening all around. It's not often that you see this happen, as of course I mentioned this in the previous map, that these two teams, I don't think anyone really expected this to happen the way that it did. As of course, you know, you're looking at them and you're thinking, well, VITICAL had quite significant roster changes in the postseason, or in the off-season rather, between Season 1 and Season 2 during all of the qualifiers. They were scrambling to find players and to fill in those gaps that they had from the players that either got dropped or left on their own accord. Meanwhile, VULPES were thriving. I think most of the players that played on VULPES last season are still around, or either they were subs or were on the main roster, but they were around with the organization for quite a while. Not to mention the fact that VULPES are the sort of academy team for Arctic Wolves, which are the current season leaders and last season's winners. So I think everyone had their money on VULPES, and instead VITICAL took one map and could be looking to pick up another one here. Using those new gadgets, again, I said, new season dropped on Tuesday, very, very exciting times for all Sage players, a lot of changes happening, and a new secondary gadget for the defense, which is that observation blocker. We saw it from JM. We still don't see it get brought that often. I think people are still quite new to it and aren't really used to how to use it. But it's a very, very good gadget. Is of course it denies it's called the observation blocker, so it denies any observation tools. Pablo finds the first kill into Rooney, and there goes a self grenade kill from Cannon as he was trying to take down the player playing inside the top tower. Jono does find one onto Rudda, but oh, that suicide is really going to hurt VULPES as they lost another player. But Jono finds another opening, taking down Pavlov. That's the smoke off the board. Any area denial that he could be providing is going to be gone. There goes the smoke. There goes the vault in. Rexy trying to go for a pre-fire, but they're going the other way around. And there goes Callum with the perfect swing onto Rexy, taking him down. Kato trying to rotate down those stairs. JM still inside of meeting. Could be finding some success here inside of sight. They shut down Kato, and now it's all down to JM. From the same position that Rudda was in just the round before, went undroned and found a lot of success. There goes another smoke grenade, and there goes, wow, what a bait and switch there from JM to find the kill onto TKR King. He's in a 1 versus 2. Still so much time, 75 seconds on the clock for VULPES. They have never had more time to win a 2 versus 1. They have the site control at the moment, and they have the diffuser. It's just about whether they are able to hold off JM long enough to actually get it down. It looks like they'll be rotating all the way down to the stage. And do they have the cover for this swing? Jono does indeed. Finds the kill, although almost did it. It was, again, I said before, waiting for pixels to change color, and those pixels change color allowed him to get the kill in a round that was really not looking like a VULPES round. Went VULPES' way anyway, and I think that this might be just a curse between these two teams. Curse or a blessing, depending on how you look at it or whose fan you really are. Very, very interesting stuff, because both these teams have been going at quite a bit of a tug of war between each other. There's only ever been 2 rounds won in a row by one team. No more than that. No more than 2 rounds in a row won by one team at a time. It's always, that streak is always broken. And VITICAL, who were looking to really break that streak here, lost a lot of those positions and lost a lot of those players. And despite the suicide from Cannon, VULPES find the round. And it looked like Callum or Jono might be that clutch factor, but of course that wasn't quite a clutch, not by the official definitions from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, so don't quote me on that one. But still, very, very crucial, very, very crucial players, very, very important for the success of VULPES. VITICAL this time not bringing any of those observation blockers. I spoke about them just the round before. Didn't really get to talk about them too much as action happened, but of course they're observation blockers, so they deny any sort of observation tools such as the Twitch drones, Rotero drones, Clutch drones, regular drones. They deny all of your observation all of your observation tools. I'm not entirely sure about whether a default cam that has been hacked by a Clutch drone from Brava, whether that is also blocked by an observation blocker. That would be really, really interesting to see that in action, but I think it's already so rare to see the observation blocker, let alone to see the observation blocker and Brava at the same time, and for that to happen all in the same round. Very, very rare moments. But TKR King his Twitch drones are being denied entry into site by those mute jammers just as well, so they don't really need the observation blockers when they have the good old mute that has been such a constant in the game. Conan going for a nade onto that wall and is still really unable to clear out any utility that is there or any players that might be there. Unbeknownst to him, there are none. The wall is open. There goes a swing from Katu that he is punished for very much. Jono inside of Attic will be downed as well. Rudda finds one. Pablo finds another one. It's effectively 2 versus 3 as they are still trying to find the res onto Jono. And Rooney could actually be finding a kill onto Rexy. His teammates, as I say it, he does find just that. Oh no, Canna was getting a little bit too antsy, a little bit too aggressive here on that breach. Gets shut down. It's a 2 versus 2 as Rooney is able to retrieve his teammate in time. There goes a smoke babe that will get deployed on that breach. Rhoda from inside of Armory is aware of a potential jump in from the highway window, which could really be bad for Jonah if he's not careful. There goes. Wow, what a swing! It was a double swing despite the flashbang. He goes down anyway. It's all down to Rooney now. 1 versus 2. Is he able to do it? We saw him in a 1 versus X so many times the previous round. He finds a lot of damage at the rudder, but is not able to find the kill. 15 seconds to go. Pavlo holding onto these vertical angles. Oh my goodness, Rudda, how are you alive? And there goes the kill with that SAS shotgun. They have been an absolute dream for VITICAL right now. This entire... Wow, he just bounced off of that wall. They've been an absolute dream for both teams so far. And VITICAL, much like in the previous map, take the lead again and put themselves on potentially a 4-2 split, which of course on the defender side of Oregon, going onto the attacking half, is going to be very, very good for them. And what's very interesting is the fact that this time they have a way, way better win record for their primary site pick. Last time around, they lost it twice, finally won it the third time they went to it. This time, they lost it once, won it both the other second times, which is actually unprecedented for this matchup, as VULPES also went to their primary site pick 3 times and lost it twice, won it only once. So, quite shocking turn of events here for VITICAL to be the first ones to break that streak and to secure themselves another site to go to should it come to overtime and they need to win a round, or they need to win 2 rounds, potentially even. And not even potentially, but should they win the first round and then, oh no, we have to go to a secondary site somehow. But in any case, they are going to that secondary site this time. That is the basement site. Again, I spoke about it. It's one of the most defender-sided sites in the game. Very, very difficult to attack. And when VULPES were looking like they had it in the bag, they let it slip right from their fingers and VITICAL won it. Can VITICAL find that same exact success again? Or will VULPES be a little bit more careful about it? Oh, and it looks like they will not be, as Rexy finds the kill onto Jono. Upstairs, they were trying to clear him out. They're still trying to clear him out with the Monty as well, which little do they know there's an Oryx there, and he's the perfect counter to the Monty. As, of course, he can knock him down onto his butt, and then he is not able to do anything. Rexy has to be aware of getting pushed from multiple angles at the same time, but that shield being brought down from Rooney and the swing from Cannon as well. He is not able to cover both of them off. They shut him down, even though they lose about half HP on Cannon, but they get out of it largely unscathed. And JM in the same position where Rudda went completely undroned before and rotating back to it again, they could be finding some kills here from this position. JM still holding on inside of Split. So far, undrone. There goes the drone. They find him, but there goes the counter utility as well, the counter intel as well. Red taking a lot of damage as well. There goes an impact, and Pavlov will go down to Callum, who some point pushed by himself into bunker, and he will shut down another one, and that will be actually be TKR King that will find one. 2 versus 4 for VITICAL. 2 of those attackers on very, very low HP, so this is still not a lost round. There goes a C4. It will not find the kill onto Rooney, although it does do quite a lot of damage. Rudder rotating back up onto the stairs again, could be getting shut down, or could just be getting the shutdown, and he will be shut down from the attackers. Katu taking so much damage inside of sight. He's not able to rotate out of this closet position. 1 versus 4. He's getting pushed by that Monty. He does not have a C4 in hand. He finds 1, he finds 2. I'm not even sure he found those, but he is locked inside of this room now by Rooney on that Monty cannon. In the meantime, retrieves the diffuser, goes for the plant. Katu is not able to rotate, as of course that is not a vaultable rotate for him. He's trying to create it. He's unable to. He actually manages to rotate, and that opens up the round a little bit more. But of course, in a 1 versus 2, where he is not looking so good as far as HP goes, and still getting absolutely berated by this Monty, it's going to be quite a tall order for him to try and win this round. There goes the kill and the swing from onto Cannon. 1 versus 1 now against the Monty. He will be trying to go for a bait defuse, and he goes for it. What is happening? He's going to have to go for the stick onto the defuse, and Rooney will be baiting him out just a little bit longer. The timer will run out. The round will go to VULPES, and he gets the final pistol kill for clue points as well. VULPES, quite confidently, or maybe not so confidently, it really went down to the wire for Rooney. They win the round on one of the most defender-sided sites in the game, and bring us back to a 3-3 split on the half. Could it be another 3-3 split, or will VULPES be taking off from here, taking off running, win the next 4 maps in a row, win the next 4 sites in a row, and just take this map down? Really, who's to say what will actually come of this? Jono just ratting inside of main entrance, trying to find any drones coming up from there. Of course, Solus is banned, so she is not able to do any of that herself. So you just have Jono proning in doorways, trying to find drones. And of course, drones are very, very useful. And despite bringing in an operator that has the observation blocker
10 seconds remaining.
available, Callum with the Jaeger is not actually bringing
5 seconds remaining.
the observation blocker, which it really does sadden me, as I would really love to see people using these new gadgets more. I would also love to see them using the new operator as well. It's Fenrir, the new Swedish operator. By a poll that we did for our players, they have decided that he is going to be allowed, but from next round on. And a spawn peek from Callum takes down Rexy. It was a very, very late spawn peek. He was just waiting inside of Garage and found success onto Rexy. That is the Ash off the board. Brilliant kill. Brilliant opener to the round. VITICAL are not looking so good. They've already made their way inside of sight. They do finally take down Callum, but not before he does a lot of damage, enough to Pavlov to down him. Impact grenades are raining from above as well. They're going for the res, and Jono could be getting 2 here. He gets 1. Can he get the second? He cannot. There goes another drop from Rooney from that hatch as well, and he will be the one to shut him down. There goes the pistol whip to turn around and get the kill. Oh my goodness. Jono gets the headshot pistol whip onto Rudda, and it's all down to Katu now in a 1 versus 4. Diffuser in hand. 2 of those exothermic charges still available. He does get 1 onto Jono, who was just proning on that corner, waiting for somebody to push him, either from the shower corridor or from the window. Fortunately for him, Katu came from the backside instead and got the kill. TKR King just relocating that shield, picking it up, saying, hey, we don't really need it here anymore. Let's just rotate it around. Which is a sight that you don't really see all that often. Yeah, it's a sight that you don't really see all that often. Somebody just rotating a shield mid-round. As of course, typically you are not in a position where you're able to do that. C4 gets ripped and blown. Does not find Katu, but those bullets will. TKR King and Katu both exchanging some bullets there. Kato still just pre-firing, trying to find any sort of opening, any sort of entry into either the site. Oh no, using up his last smoke grenade to try and clear out that Syria gate, gets swallowed by the ADS, instead finds one, can just barely see the elbows of Cannon, but is not able to find the kill. Has to run in, and it's TKR King from inside of Attic to find the final one, put the round on the board for VULPES, bring them to the lead again, and VITICAL are not looking too good. Although, in fairness, this is only the first round of their attacking side, so not everything is lost yet, especially because we've seen these teams have an absolute back-to-back-to-back, and VULPES still haven't won 3 rounds in a row, so
Attackers need to locate
as far as the pattern is concerned, VITICAL are pretty much on to win either this round or the next one. So they are still fine, but of course, the more rounds that VULPES is able to get away with in this half, the worse for where VITICAL are looking, as of course they are losing their security factor, the security factor of having rounds to lose. Of course, I've always said this, when you are up by any amount of rounds, that is not the amount of rounds that you have to fool around. That is not the amount of rounds that you have to just throw out or run out to do silly, stupid things that go completely against what your normal strategy would be, and just doing it for flashpoints or for whatever. Those are the rounds that you have available should you accidentally whiff a shot, or, you know, they rush and you lose it. But there goes the spot peak, does a little bit of damage up to 3 players. Is unable to find any more than that, however, and has to drop away. And that's exactly what I was saying, is like, that is the type of thing that you don't really want to be doing when you have the advantages. That could just give it away. If they had pre-fired that window, TKR King could have been out. That's the warden off the board, that's a player gone, and the round is blown open for the side of VITICAL. So you don't really want to be doing these silly things to make you lose a round or to help the attackers win it, as of course you are going to be in a much worse position. Cannon here, very aggressive on these stairs, is gonna get flashed out as they are looking to already attack onto it, or at the very least just forcing him away. TKR King still safe and sound inside of kitchen, and if he goes undroned the way that so many players have already throughout this matchup, it could be a bloodshed. Pavlov, if he only knew that all he needs to turn around, that all he needs to do is turn around and shoot through the wall, well, he would feel really silly right now. Rada taking so much damage. I think he was, I'm really not even sure where from that was, but he took a lot of damage, has to pull back and away from wherever that he was. Cannon still at the bottom of these stairs, looking to catch somebody off guard. Rooney holding loosely onto the front side of the site, of the bomb site. There go the Candelas, and it could be a bit of a collapse here from VITICAL, as those Candelas are coming down quite a bit. A drop hasn't come into the hash, but Rudda from far and away gets the first kill. Minute to go. TKR King, despite being warden, runs away from a flashbang and gets down because of it. They are now holding him hostage, and they get the finisher as well. The round is blown completely open for the side of VITICAL, who are maybe looking a little bit too slow and a little bit insecure for a little bit. More of those Candelas are coming out. Pavlov knows exactly where Cannon is, finds the kill. Rooney denies the flawless as he finds one. Katu will find the last, or the second to last defender, but oh my goodness, Jono could almost do it, but Katu denies him the satisfaction of getting one of the most impressive clutches that we've ever seen, and gets that round anyway. And in, I will say, quite a historical fashion, the most defensive site in the game is won by the attack twice now. VULPES are going back to it again, trying to find the round win this time, trying to find the lead again, as they've just now lost it. and trying to see if they could potentially win this map, trying to find some points. They need to win at least 2 more rounds to secure themselves a second point so far in the season and so far in this matchup, which honestly they are looking better for wear than any team in the Champions League so far, as every other game was a complete blowout from one of the teams where it was a clean 2-0, no overtime, won a regulation, picked up all 6 points, put themselves quite far up on the leaderboard. And it's basically just coming down to round difference of who is placed where. But of course, it's only round 1. A lot of that is irrelevant. Teams will win, teams will lose, teams will pick up points, teams will not pick up points. A lot of things might come down to round difference come around 7, where it's come down to who will actually qualify for the playoffs and who will not. So, quite a long time still to play out, but picking up early points is always good. And VULPES are looking to pick up more than just one in this matchup. Cannon, again, on these stairs, so aggressive, getting droned out quite heavily, but he denies a lot of that intel and forces VITICAL to re-drone him as well. What was that? TKR just looking around, spinning himself around. Actually taking a little bit of damage. I'm not sure where from. That might have actually been the drop into the attic, if I would have to guess, as it's such a little minuscule amount of damage. I really wouldn't be too sure where he took it from. So I would say it's probably from the drop onto those stairs, which those stairs are very dangerous. There's a lot of times where you miss the beam completely and you just die. Or I think you get downed, actually. I don't think you die. Katu opening up this hatch. And of course, we saw VITICAL play completely differently, where they open up that hatch in the prep phase. The defenders, and there goes the hatch opening and the swing. I'm not sure if Rooney wasn't aware of the hatch getting opened or if he thought that he had more time, but he gets shut down, and that's one of the most vital players on the side of VULPES. We've seen him clutch up. We've seen him be in absolutely crucial positions before he gets shut down. Cannon getting very, very aggressive here. It's a player pushing down those backside stairs as well. Jono holding on to that, and there goes the Candela. Does get shut down before it's able to really deploy, so it will not be blinding anybody, but that one will be. The Warden is nowhere near them, or nowhere near those Candelas, rather, but look at that time. Minute to go. They've already wasted so much utility. It is still not ready to drop down. There goes another Candela. There goes the drop. So many shots are coming out. Jonah takes one. Cannon takes another. Rexy inside of the electrical room goes for a swing onto the pillar, picks up one, picks up two. TKR King in the meantime picks up the rest of his team, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Rexy has all the information that he needs. He knows that TKR King is inside of elbow. He's rotating around, and there goes the swing. It's Rexy again. He was the MVP last game for a good reason, and it's exactly this. He is the clutch factor for the side of VITICAL. Absolutely crucial, very important player. And if you want anybody in a 1 versus X situation, it is 100% Rexy. Retta saying that was a PlayStation moment. My kill on JM, if you wonder. I don't think that we were actually able to see that one, so I'm not really sure how that one looked. Wait, what? Rudda, my kill on the JM, that's your teammate. Was there a TK that I missed? Oh, wow, I completely missed that. Yeah, there was a TK onto JM, apparently. It's an official game if there's not a TK. You know what? I'll take that. It probably isn't. So I guess, you know, a lot of the time people say it's not an official game if there's no flawless round, and there we saw that, at least in the previous game. I don't think we've seen it actually yet on this map, which just goes to show how closely matched these teams are. Teams that we expected to be a blowout from VULPES are so closely matched that it's just back-to-back rounds. Crazy stuff coming out from both teams. Both teams playing very, very well, and both teams tacting very, very well to each other. But as the pattern suggests, the first kill has already come out. Rexy taking down TKR King, who I said before, going for those spawn peaks could work against you, and it does work against them not once but twice as they take down Jono as well. Callum is able to find the refrag onto Rexy, but not before the damage has already been done. Callum on rear stage stairs could be going here for a bit of a run-out swing, but they are ready for it, and they find him. Oh, goodness gracious, this is not good. Rooney is also looking for a run-out. What is happening? Did VULPES just, like, bet each other about who's gonna die in a stupider way this round? I don't know, but it's really... You don't really like to see this. I mean, I guess maybe you do, as the viewer. You like to see a lot of this excitement, but in terms of strategy and whether or not it's a good decision, 90% of the time it is not a good decision. I respect about just why Katu... He's basically staring at the head of Cannon and swings, gets the kill! What? Rudy now in a 1 versus 4. Make that a 0 versus 4 as Katu finds not 1 but 2 that round. A round so quickly over before it's really even begun. I don't think we even cracked a minute. Observer Heavy saying stop peeking. I agree. Could not agree more. VITICAL secured themselves another point in this matchup.